Welcome to Season 1, Episode 3 of Lapidot Reviews, Kirby's Dream Buffet, a racing game released recently for the Nintendo Switch as the now third Kirby spin-off to release on the console. And, well, let's get into this game. And its story? So, back in my Fighters 2 episode of Kirby Month, I made a joke about Kirby Fighters 2's lack of a story. Little did I know, it would be beaten in that category. The basic idea of this game is that Kirby grabs a fork to help him eat a cake. However, this fork, known as the Dream Fork, ends up shrinking him, so now he's a ball that's trying to maneuver these food-themed courses. Your plot, people! It's kind of simple, but it's a spin-off, so I don't think it's the most necessary thing in the world for a Kirby spin-off to have an in-depth story. But either way, that's really simple. Gameplay. The game is often compared to Fall Guys, and as much as I don't like the comparison, I can see where it comes from, in the basic linear racing style that Fall Guys went for, in its sort of idea. I like to call them obstacle course games. But the goal isn't exactly to get first here. The goal is to collect strawberries. So basically it's a game where you make Kirby fat. Finally, a game for me. Though you do get a lot for winning first in a race. The game has 4 different types of games, including a race, a smaller mini game, a battle royale, and finally Gourmet Grand Prix, acting as a group between all 4 of them. And it all ends with some bonuses. Sort of like Mario Party. Even if I personally feel the gameplay needs more variety, there's really only 4 types of modes to enjoy. And Gourmet Grand Prix is just repackaged versions of them. So it's kind of boring. But there are also items, including Jelly, which allows invincibility to all obstacles, making it kind of this sort of thing called broken. Especially because it's not just breakable walls you can deal with, but you're also not slowed down by things like honey. So it's very useful. However, that isn't the only item to help you on the arena. You also got High Jump, which blows. The basic idea of High Jump is you get to make, large jumps that cover a lot of the map. But it's pretty bad, because it also means you skip over a lot of strawberries, pretty much wasting a lot of resources that can help you win. Tornado, though, is my personal favorite. I quite love Tornado in a way, because it allows you to suck up nearby strawberries. And in points to like the Battle Royale, where a lot of strawberries are being tossed down, this can go from helpful to just broken. And get you 30 strawberries with just 1 use. Then, there's Wheel and Burning, which allow you to speed up and damage others in your path. But they are way too similar, to the point where I don't think there are any differences, weirdly enough. Stone is basically ground pound. Allows you to jump up and ground pound onto the opponents, dealing large damage by creating a large wave. Next up is the Needle, which is basically one of the weirder items in the game. Oh yeah, and there's Drill. I almost never see Drill, so I don't even know what that even is. But then, there is the wonderful Needle, which allows you to, basically, become a giant ball of needles, and damage any enemy that touches you, even if you pretty much move as slow as molasses, making it almost useless, aside from the fact that you can do a large dash, which is hard to control. It's a fun one, though, and it's really strong if used under the right circumstances. And now we have Invincibility Candy, an item that only pops in during the final mash, specifically for the players far back in the pack. And it is an Invincibility Candy that, makes you invincible. And it is basically the damaging power of Needle without any of the compromises in damage. In movement. In other words, it's broken. And now, there's the online aspect of the game, which is online. It's basically playing this game online. That is all I have to say. It is very, very boring to talk about. I mean, at least there's emotes, right? And now we get to the music. As much as I love Kirby music, Hal's been struggling recently with Kirby music. As most Kirby games don't have any good original songs, like Kirby Star Allies, and some don't get the classic, and some games have good original music, but don't give great songs the justice they deserve. A great example of this being Kirby Fighters 2. And Dream of Hay falls into the former, with the only good song being the main theme of the game, I'm a Hungry Pink Puffball. But the remixes and returning songs, holy heck, it's glorious! But we'll talk about returning music in the Collectibles section. My favorite remix, though, is that of the remixes come from all over the series, and I mean it. From Pinball Land, to Dream Course, to even Block Ball. Yes, Block Ball got a remix. But personally, my favorite remix has got to go to that of Super Copy Boss from Return to Dreamland. A remix so good that it made me cry tears of joy. Something no Kirby game has managed to make me do, soundtrack or not, which is very impressive. But most of the other songs aren't as good, but they're still pretty great. Next, we get to the visuals. The game itself, graphics-wise, is good. It goes for the idea that everything is food, and I love when games go for a unique art style. Or just a unique gimmick that affects the art style, like when Mario Party DS took the idea of making everyone small. So while the minigames had stuff like you being able to play in an arcade, stuff like that. But I don't think the style works as well as in something like Mario Party DS. The style of everything being mostly it comes down to the stuff that isn't really sweets, like the burgers or bacon. It doesn't really mesh well with the art style, though I agree with everyone else in that Kirby's expressions in this game are the most wholesome thing I have ever seen. The collectibles are next up on the docket, and they are amazing. There are 4 types of collectibles in this game. Little character things that you unlock after beating matches and doing well in them. Little character treats, which allow you to be using them as a pedestal before your races. And yeah, they're from all over the series too. You can collect them by getting enough points to level up from strawberries and other bonuses, though. And there are costumes and colors, more levels to play, memorial songs, and finally, of course, the little character treats. Let's start with the colors and costumes, which mostly represent classic characters, or for some reason just random colors, like giving Kirby a browner style to fit with the Kirby burger. And yeah, many of them reference classic characters, like Susie or Gooey, which is cool. But there are other unique ones, of course, like the Kirby burger and mint chocolate color, which I like. I like the variety here. That's one thing this game is great at, variety. More stages, though, is self-explanatory. It's more stages to play. I don't think I need to explain that. And then there's the memorial songs, which are amazing. They're songs, once again, from all over the entire series. And I mean all over. Of course, you got more songs from Pinball Land, Block Ball, and others. If anything, though, I wish they weren't as Forgotten Land-centric. Some games didn't get 3 memorial songs, Forgotten Land got 8. Which kind of feels unfair to me. And finally, we have the character treats. The game has little character treats that I said you can unlock after doing well in certain games. And there's 256, which is a lot to collect, which I love. I love replayable to collect collectibles. But this leads me to my final thoughts. Even with the not good original music and the possibility of repetition worrying me for this game's future, I quite enjoy it. It's even my favorite Switch spin-off so far. Overall, though, I give Kirby's Dream Buffet an 8.75 out of 10. Not bad. See you in episode 4.